Welcome to the FOCIS podcast, brought to you by the FOCIS Communications Committee.
Well, hello, Dr. Boyer. Thank you so much for being here today. Why don't you start off with introducing yourself a little bit?
I'm Olivier Boyer. I'm MD, PhD. I'm an immunologist doing mostly laboratory work and research, but I work in a university hospital as well. So we are doing diagnostic for patients. I'm interested in autoimmunity and also in cell and gene therapy. And regarding FOCIS, I've been involved for quite a while now. I am the director of a FOCIS Center of Excellence, and also I have the pleasure of co-chairing the FC committee with Jeff Ratmel. So it leads me to be in interaction with many things that happen at FOCIS.
That's great. Well, we're glad to have you here. So what would you say attracted you to the field of immunology?
You're talking about some years ago now. I guess it was back in the 90s. I think at that time I was, we're just starting to understand what HLA was. And we thought it was some type of genes that would regulate transplantation, but transplantation is not something that had been selected through evolution, so it had to do something else. And when we started to see that it presented peptide, the question of self and non-self, because it became a little different, like HLA is not self, it's sort of a viewpoint on the peptidic landscape of what self is. And so I was fascinated by these questions, and then came all the start of the understanding of how the T cell would be produced by the thymus. And we know the CD4s, we know the CD8, and then you realize that they originate from a double positive CD4, CD8, so the cell has to make a choice. And I was really passionate about these things.
Well, that's great. So then what would you say are some of your proudest moments?
Oh, proudest moments, huh? Since I'm doing mostly lab work, but my work is also quite oriented toward the patients. As an MD, my way of practicing medicine is through research and laboratory. So in the course of a clinical trial that we did, it was a randomized clinical trial, I happened to receive a letter from a patient saying something like, "You changed my life." And so I guess the clinicians, they face this kind of a nice situation more often than I do, but it was like being proud of all the lab work that lead to something that is significant for at least that person, and that was a great source of joy and pride.
So then what would you say is next for you in your career?
Well, I would say that the question of the next generation is extremely important. There is always a next generation. How do we train the people who would come after us? How we give them the more comfortable way of taking over and working to make a better world through science. I think it's what is important to me now. The transmission, the future is something important. Yeah.
Well, then in relation to that, what would you say is new on the horizon for immunology as a whole?
I would say that we are at a fascinating moment where we understand a lot more than we did like 10 years ago, thanks to incredible progress in technological fields. But these technologies have become so expensive that the question is the access to this. And the output that is also very expensive. You think of CAR T cells, now we're talking about the nth generation of CAR T cells, but some countries don't even have access to the current generation of CAR T cells. So how are we going to have the largest benefit of all the incredible progress that science has brought? So I think really the stake now is about how to contribute to a more balanced benefit for most of the people.
Okay. That sounds like we've got an exciting future ahead of us. So then if we move on to FOCIS, how would you say, or how did you first get involved with FOCIS?
I think I attended my first meeting in 2010 or something. And it was the meeting. I mean, small size, but not too small, but we can really interact and network. And also, there was a feeling of belonging to a community that was diverse in the sense that different fields of immunology came together. You could be a rheumatologist, a dermatologist, a neurologist, doing more basic science. The level of the science was very good, and it was extremely stimulating to have access to great scientists that I admired for their papers, and they were like here, and belonging to this community has been immediately important.
So then how would you say FOCIS has changed your world?
Oh, in many ways, I think the being a focused center of excellence, for instance, has been a very useful in the sense that it when you write your application, you take the time to think, okay, what am I doing in research? What am I doing for education? What am I doing for the patients? And now we put all this together, and we try to have a comprehensive view of all this, and it helps you, put together all the different things you do in the kind of busy life that we have as scientists. And it opened me to a lot of international relationship. I also I'm involved also in IUIS, the International Union of Immunology Society, and notably on the education part of IUIS, and we are trying to make connection with FOCIS. So FOCIS has also be an umbrella for all these activities and this connectivity that opened me a lot to the international work and also progress in science.
And then to wrap up, if a colleague asked you why you should join FOCIS, what would you tell them?
Oh, first the annual meeting, second the annual meeting, third the annual meeting. It's an incredibly good meeting because we have these big meetings like 40,000 people and other very focused symposium, but here it's the good size. We don't have that many parallel sessions that you don't know where to go. You can talk to the people. The level of science is incredible. And it's a perfect balance between basic science and clinical application. It's really important. But besides that, we have all the efforts, and they are considering developing a very active federation. For instance, the courses. So we have the course that was held, the advanced course in the US, and now we have European courses, courses in Latin America. We will be organizing ourselves a course October 2024 in Normandy in France, and this is easily accessible from Paris. So all these activities that are now enriched by new efforts, the virtual symposium, if you're a member, it is free. So there's a benefit of being a member. These recordings are accessible. If you're a member, you click and you can use them. So this is that's really very good. Really, I think this FOCIS comes in many flavors, interacting also with the member societies, which has societies in different countries. So it's very rich, and becoming a member is important. Do not hesitate. I would tell them to apply for a FOCIS Center of Excellence. For instance, notably in some regions of the world, like in Asia, in Africa, we are very proud to create a couple of years ago the first to open the first center in Kenya. Now we have another center in South Africa and another application that may be open soon. So it's really there's a lot of value, a lot of added value of being a FOCIS member, and I'm very proud of it.
Right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today.
My pleasure.